A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a startling development, a new report from the United Nations has accused Israel of engaging in systematic gender-based violence during its prolonged conflict in the Gaza Strip. This 49-page document, released by the UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry, highlights numerous allegations including the targeting of fertility clinics and hospital maternity wards, which has reportedly led to maternal deaths due to blocked aid deliveries. Additionally, the report claims that both male and female detainees were subjected to sexual humiliation and abuse. The findings suggest that Israeli authorities have deliberately undermined the reproductive capacity of Palestinians in Gaza, a claim that falls under one of the categories of genocidal acts as outlined in the Rome Statute and the Genocide Convention. Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, have vehemently rejected the report's conclusions, labeling them as baseless and politically motivated. Netanyahu criticized the UN for diverting attention from what he described as the atrocities committed by Hamas, stating, "Instead of focusing on the crimes against humanity and the war crimes that were perpetrated by the Hamas terrorist organization, the UN has again chosen to attack the state of Israel with false accusations, including baseless accusations of sexual violence." This is not the first time the UN has investigated allegations of sexual violence in the context of the Israel-Palestine conflict. A previous report documented reasonable grounds to believe that sexual violence was perpetrated by Hamas and affiliated militant groups during their attacks in Israel on October 7, 2023. Furthermore, a report from March 2024 corroborated claims of rape and gang rape against victims in Israel during the same period. The latest UN report specifically addresses an incident involving the Basma IVF clinic, Gaza's largest fertility center, which was attacked by Israeli forces in December 2023. This assault resulted in the destruction of approximately 4,000 cryogenically frozen embryos, alongside 1,000 sperm samples and unfertilized eggs. The authors of the report concluded that there was no evidence to suggest that this clinic was a legitimate military target at the time of the attack, and they described the destruction as a measure intended to prevent births among Palestinians in Gaza. The report also details various forms of violence and abuse perpetrated by Israeli forces, including forced nudity and sexual assault of Palestinian detainees, as well as willful killings of civilians. These acts, according to the report, are indicative of the Israeli military's standard operating procedures towards Palestinians. The UN report further notes that attacks on healthcare facilities that provide sexual and reproductive healthcare services have affected around 540,000 women and girls of reproductive age in Gaza. In response to the report, Israel's mission to the United Nations in Geneva issued a lengthy rebuttal, asserting that the Israeli military has established concrete directives and procedures to prevent the kinds of misconduct described in the report. They emphasized that allegations of sexual violence are thoroughly investigated in accordance with international norms. In the context of the ongoing conflict, earlier this month, Israel halted aid deliveries to Gaza and cut electricity to a desalination plant, a move that was described as a strategy to pressure Hamas into extending a recent ceasefire and releasing hostages. Humanitarian agencies have raised alarms over the dire conditions faced by Palestinian civilians, with calls for an immediate resumption of relief supplies. Kate Phillips-Barrasso of Mercy Corps warned that Israel's decision to suspend aid is already leading to severe shortages of food and medicine, with prices for essential goods skyrocketing. Gaza cannot afford a return to war, she stated, emphasizing that millions of lives are at stake. As the situation remains tense, the international community continues to monitor developments closely, with humanitarian organizations urging for immediate action to alleviate the suffering of civilians caught in the conflict. With accusations of gender-based violence and the dire humanitarian crisis in Gaza, the implications of this report are significant and may further complicate the already complex geopolitical landscape in the region. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.